In a kingdom with too many rules,
Keep walking.
Justin had a dream to break free.
Hello, welcome to Premier Scene. I'm Claire Bueno as we get to pursue our dream as we attend the UK premiere of Justin and the Knights of Valour.
I want to be a knight.
You will need a quest.
Find my grandfather's sword and bring it home.
We have been working with Candor Graphics, that's the name of the company, for almost 10 years now. I got very interested in the animation world when I started participating as an actor, first in the saga of Shrek and then with Puss in Boots by himself. And so around that time, you know, this group of guys from the south of Spain came to me showing me some drawings and some videos that they put together about, you know, their talent as cartoonists and creative people. So I got involved with them immediately. This is our second feature. It's the first one that we do in 3D. That we took the level of the technologies that we used a little bit up. We had in the middle also a short movie that got a nomination for an Academy Award about 3 years ago. So it's very satisfying, you know, in the economic climate that we are living, to have the capacity to put together a project like this. We feel actually like the start of the movie Justin, that has to overcome a lot of obstacles in order to obtain what he wants. Well, we have been like that for 4 years. We almost didn't finish the movie, you know, it's been very, very tough, but finally here we are.
And with regards to lending your voice to animation, obviously your voice is famous for playing Puss in Boots. For the character that you're playing today, how did you have to evolve your voice to make you sound different?
I made the character, when I did Puss in Boots, I tried to provide him with a very, very thick, deep voice. He's a very little character, and that contrast, I think it plays very good for comedy. So what I did with this guy, who is an imposter, by the way, is exactly the opposite. He's a huge body, and I just tried to put a very high-pitched voice at some moments in the performance. Basically what we are trying with that character specifically, just to bring some humor to the movie. But the movie has also other values, some principle for kids to learn. It's very important when we are just talking with audiences and showing them, you know, movies and stories like this. It's very important that we actually put an accent in what we are talking about. And I think the movie is filled with that. They're going to have a thrill, they are going to laugh, and at the same time they will come out thinking a little bit of the, you know, of the story of initiation that the character Justin suffers during the whole entire process of the movie.
Values of life.
Absolutely.
Now, the world's unlikeliest hero
You are here because
I want to be trained.
will need to find the courage to meet his destiny.
I'm excited to see all the kids. I'm quite excited that there's a lot of blonde kids over there that are excited about our film. So.
And you're playing Talia,
Yeah.
who's a feisty girl, isn't she? But I believe, is she like a kindred spirit as well with Justin?
I think she is a bit, yeah. I don't know if he realises that straight away, but she does. And I think she puts up a bit of a barrier with most people because she has to, because she's working in this dive bar, basically, this dive medieval bar, and is kind of sick of life and sick of these people who come into our bar every day. And then Justin comes along and he's kind of a glimmer of hope for her, and she gets a bit of a glimmer in her eye, I think. And so when he comes back for her, that's when the relationship really starts and they kind of become sidekicks then. So.
Is it part of the heart of the story as well, about going out and finding your dream, really, and having the guts to go out and do it, very much like an actor, really?
Yeah, exactly. And what I like about this is that he doesn't succeed straight away. It's not like, you know, one montage and then he's kind of all right. It takes him a long time to really reach his full potential, and I think it's quite good for kids to have an animation like that, you know, and it's still lovely and exciting, but it just shows that, you know, if a kid really wants something, even if they don't kind of reach their full potential straight away, they will eventually get there, you know. So.
With regards to you and the process of acting for animation, how does that differ from being on set, for instance?
you're on your own. You're completely on your own when you do an animation. So you're thrown in a room, they lock the door, they leave you in there for like 8 hours, you know, throw you a bit of bread every now and again. And a film set is much better. No, I'm joking. There's just more people on a film set in general, and also as well, the way you deliver your lines is kind of, it's a little bit heightened. So most of the things I've done have been a bit more realistic when it comes to just the delivery, I hope, whereas with this kind of thing you have to give a little bit more, so because it's just your voice.
For this test, we chose a dragon.
I was very lucky. I was just asked off the bat, and it was very brave of them because I had never done animation before. So there was 2 draws. The fact that it was an animation, I've always loved it since a kid. Even now, I mean, I'm a huge fan. And then Antonio Banderas, having him produce and star was just such a pull, as any actor, I'm sure it would be. So yes, those 2 things were like, yeah, of course I would.
And you're playing Lara, who, and she's slightly spoiled, isn't she?
Oh, she's horrendously spoiled. Her family invented money, don't you know? And she's obnoxious and horrid, and she's very much the spoiled princess of the story.
And when you're playing a role like that, you can just have fun because it's an animation. You don't have to get too dark and deep into the part. Just have fun.
Well, I mean, in an animation, if your part was dark and deep, then of course you would. But Lara isn't that. She's very shallow and very on the surface, and what you see is what you get. In an exaggerated way, obviously. I mean, she's a dramatist. So that was really fun for me. And she gets kidnapped at one stage, if I don't give too much of the story away. And I was just throwing myself around the booth, the yips and yelps, and like having a great time with the director, Manuel. It was just, it was such a great experience.
Yes!
Well, when I heard Antonio sent me this script, and he directed me towards a short film that Candle Graphics made called The Lady and the Reaper, which is brilliant and funny and moving and upsetting and truthful, and that's the kind of work we like to do. And also something like that one's kids can watch as well. So.
And you're playing the Queen.
Yes. I obviously very appropriate royal casting.
With the right voice for it.
I do my best.
Demeanour. But with regards to the story, it's a decision that the Queen makes actually that sends Justin off on his destiny, his voyage. Really
Yes, and I like to think as a mother of 2 small children, I have that power over other people. But anyone with small children knows that you don't actually have any power. So I have to pretend to have power.
As a part of the process for an actor, how does it differ? How do you prepare for an animated role?
You can't really. You read the script and you follow direction. You don't interact with the other actors, which is a shame. But you do what the director is there, and he tells you. You have to trust completely in what you're told to do. And then slightly strangely have to perform any physical jerks that your character is doing while standing alone in a box. So it's a slightly odd experience.
I was going to say that because there's probably less physicality required of you, do you have to be careful not to kind of strain your voice, maybe because you're putting more pressure on that?
Certainly you do, and after a day of it is surprisingly exhausting. I mean, I don't know if you've sort of at a football match you've shouted all day, or a kid's sports day you've yelled, or crying all day. You use actually a lot of core muscles. I know it sounds pathetic, but yes, it is quite tiring.
Is there a lot of repetition as well?
Yes, they make you do it again and again. But these guys were very, very nice to work for because they knew what they wanted. They cast people they wanted to do it. And so my experience with American films is there's a whole committee of people and they want it a bit more like this and a bit more like that. But what was lovely about Candle Graphics and their whole production team is they cast it, said we want you, and they liked what you did. So that was all a pleasure. It was only fun.
Tomorrow this land will have a new king.
Oh, nice crowd.
Heraclio has the sword.
He'll chew you up and he'll spit you out.
I'm ready.
I like your spirit.
It has been a very, very, very long road because we have been working very hard for 4 years. But the beginning of that project was with us for 15 years or something like this. So it's a dream to have the movie finished, and especially with that incredible, fantastic cast. We can't believe it.
It is an incredible cast. And for you as the director, have you enjoyed working with the actors and playing with them and bringing their performances out?
It's great because we're very worried about, this movie is about fun, about adventure, okay? But I think also it's about heart. We really want that the movie has heart, and the raw material to have this emotion is the actors. So we work with them, and I think we get much more than we expected.
It's been, obviously, Antonio was speaking to us as well, economically it's been a difficult time in Spain, as we know. So how hard has it been to get this animation made just for financial reasons?
Of course. This movie, in some ways, is a small movie, okay, because if you compare with the American studios, it's a small budget. But for Spain, and even for Europe, it's a great budget. It's too much, okay? So it's really difficult. I think that the trick has been that the people like the movie. We did a lot of sales in different markets, and we can do the movie in that way, but it's a very, very difficult moment here in Spain.
And for Candor Graphics as well, you've worked very hard as well to be innovative with this animation and trying to find new techniques as well. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, this has been a very, very amount of work to do, because it's about art, because you have to work on the art. It's about the technical stuff, because you have to resolve a lot of problems. It's about the storytelling, it's about financing, it's difficult.
You need a sidekick?
If you won't join my army, you will face it.
The music side of it's been really exciting, because with animation you get to do you really get to bring the characters to life with the music, and you write music the whole way through the film, and it's such a big characterful part of the film.
And how did you first become a part of the project?
Well, Manuel, the director, he's a really big film music fan, and I think he knew some of my work from before, and we met and we got on really well. It was a funny coincidence because we met very briefly, and it turned out that he was renting a small house up the road from my house on the same street, and so we just went for a drink at the top of the road, and we got on really well.
A few taps.
Yeah, right. There you go. We bonded over a pint. What can I say?
When you're composing for a film or an animation, how does that work? Are you presented with the script in the beginning to get your head around the idea, or are you invited to go to have a look at the storyboard? Well,
they had clips of the film, because obviously an animation takes a long time. You know, they've been making it for 2 years, and so they have the film in a certain state, but the characters aren't complete. They're like sort of stick drawings, and a bit of it's black and white, and then a bit of it's color, and it's all a bit blocky, and then a bit of it is like computer animated, and you have all these different stages all blocked together, and so you get a sense of what the film is. But by the time I joined the project, most of the voices had been done, and so you really get a feel for it.
Do you get to listen to the voices of the characters?
Yes, I mean you have to. The music is there to support the dialogue, to support the action. So you have to respond to the dialogue. I always like to think of it as whoever's speaking on screen is like the lead singer of the band, and what I'm doing is like the backing track.
The apocalypse is upon us!
Release the lady!
The beginning of a new age for new heroes!
Justin and the Knights of Valour.
Creatures of flames, answer my call!
Coming soon in 3D.